All right, if I can leave, I'm gonna need to get reacquainted here. Let's see if I'm not sharing my screen or anything just yet. Good. All right, so vibe out, whatever. But put on a damn shirt. It looks silly. I look silly. Pop out dashboard. Edit. No. I've never used YouTube's thing. All right, there's that. there we go. Not my normal little setup here. I guess everything's working just fine. It should be fine. I don't know. I just want to be able to record some stuff on my screen as I'm going through it. I haven't been able to like really get anything consistently recorded and go live on anything because my other accounts are compromised. But uh, in the hopes of trying to work that back out at some point, it would be great. But I guess it's been a little over 60 days. I've been trying to get people have been trying to tag me for a long time, playing Counter Strike or whatnot and streaming. And I think that most of that probably from TikTok and whatnot. You know, I think counted between TikTok and YouTube. Didn't have a whole lot of followers, but I had 400,000 views, and I guess probably I was bouncing back and forth there before the TikTok thing was going on, trying some other platforms out. And I think just maybe, you know, being careless in between doing some of that stuff and what companies I was using just left myself wide open. But somehow some of my routing got messed up, and I guess I had probably like a 200 follow bot like immediately like hit me, and then within like the next couple of days I went down, and then I got back up again like the very next day. And then it got me again, and then it became just not on the PC. It became more of a it phones, mails, everything. It was just like I got my information resold. So this is the first time I've been able to go live, and it's on a different account completely. And I'm gonna attempt to try to boot into a vert real quick session on this other USB that I have that is just should be a pretty good indication if we can see what the boot parameters and stuff are. And that's really what I wanted to zero in on. But yeah, and I don't know a whole lot, right? So anybody sees this video has got some suggestions or maybe any advice, that would be cool. Only helpful advice. All the other shit can scram. Um, I don't want to hear it. I'm not gonna probably even look at it. But no. Let's go over here. Undercover. I just like looking at the Windows screen a little bit better. Anyways. Alright, so that should still be recording. That's all fine and great. Okay, so I guess I'll have to download it. Hopefully this isn't putting me back in a real bad situation with these virtual managers. But whatever, we'll deal with it. I still can't get anything to say persistent on my solid state drive. I'm only able to boot into live USB installations, but that's pretty much what I was doing originally anyways. I was kind of like had a Windows, and then I would use a USB to kind of start learning a little bit about Linux and stuff, because I was pretty interested just in the fact everybody was switching, so I wanted to kind of get back into it. But I haven't used like any Linux like distribution since like it was Backtrack or whatever. So, and even then I was like threw it away, like I couldn't even like quite figure it all out. So I'm playing a lot of update intra ramfs is disabled. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't matter. So Vert manager. All right, here we go. Kimu. Fall. New virtual machine. Okay, so let me find my USB drive that I want to look at here. Ah! Import existing disk image. Nah. 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 Let me plug it in up here. I'm running out of space. Okay. And those are so close together. Pre-formatted block device. Yeah, here we go. Let's just get into one of these. Let's see what this is. I don't know. Is it not seeing my USB? Oh, here it is. So if y'all can see my screen, the .mso, .boot catalog, AFI image, it's all grayed out. It says 2024. Well, that's definitely not when I installed anything or even got the USB. So, and then there's some interesting stuff going on in here too. All right. Just got all these images for different like operating systems. On this live boot of Garuda. Oh shit, I just unmounted it. That was dumb. All right, so look at here. You've got some stuff that I've deleted, so it doesn't run in the background. Sudo is admin, ICE authority, which is a like an LOT, like an IoT, infrastructure of things or Internet of Things. Profile, bash RC, bash logout. So that's some of the stuff that was kind of running there that I had to run back down. Yeah, I've never. This is kind of different. Extensions. Why didn't that? Ugh. Jesus. I gotta get a little more space here because this USB is kind of a thick boy. He's a thickie. It won't fit. That's what he said. She said. Okay, mount. Boot. Alright, that should be fine. And then you got block device, SF hosted after. Problem is I really don't know if we have this shit supposed to be here or not, but you know. Here's the loopback config. I just wanna, man, I don't understand how to do this, really. Okay, so directory file system, target, name. Finish. Okay. I think I did that right. Okay, and there's all these like teardowns, A2. I don't know what any of this shit is really, but let's go to. I thought I was gonna be able just to pull this up like right here in front of me. These sessions look like they've been up for a long time. Huh, I just started my computer anyways, but I'm gonna have to look something up because I don't really know what I'm doing. All right, let's see here. All right, let's go back over here and do some looking up. USB in a nutshell. See, I don't know any of this shit. Yeah. Maybe it was a good thought. I don't know. I wanted to be able to do this a little bit differently. Okay, KVM, that's what it is. A phone attached to the host. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Add a phone enabled US mass storage. What? Fuck if I know. Just try to go over here and do this again. Shouldn't I just be able to open it from like right here? That's for browser. I don't want to do that. Well, here, let's just go through this library. We can definitely do that. Okay, here we go. So here's all the dev stuff that's going on in here. And I haven't touched any of it really. I don't know, MQ, input mapper, HID, raw. So those are the drivers. And I'm just gonna start removing shit. Let's see what that is real quick though. But I've got plenty of USBs with all this shit on here, so. Damn it. I didn't want to do that. So let's go to libexact color G. All right, so I don't know. Here's one of these like weird fucking whatevers, and this is like one of those. I was getting this error when I was trying to boot into some of these USBs, like this file can't be found or whatever. And of course, it's all kind of sort of encrypted. But I'll pull the keyring access here in a second and show you. I don't know if that helps. I just put some slashes in the front of it. We're learning together. Okay, so SSS agent. So here's another one. Shit that I don't, have nothing to do with. And, I've got my UFW to enabled, I'm pretty sure, on this session. All right, you should UFW restart, reload. And then here's the app list on the firewall parameters that were here before. So there's like a telnet. Is this like the authorized ones? I'm not sure. Qubit torrent. How do I delete rule number? How do you set default? Let's just deny. Okay, I already got that rule in there. Deny. I don't know. I don't want Yahoo. Fuck Yahoo. SVN serve www cache. Deny qubit. SMPT. All right, so that's not even in there, but it's showing. Okay, Samba. I guess that's the mail protocol, right? Because it was calling out to a Dropbox to like a Nextcloud account. What's fucking? I don't know what Nginx is. Let's just block that too. Shit, whatever. All right, so that's not in there. KTorrent. It's mail time. Mail time. Let me go grab my mail real quick. Mail time. All right. It's another weird thing too. After I got hacked, we had to change bank accounts and stuff. Even my Nissan payment was asking me to mail it um, to kind of an interesting address. I worked for Nissan. I was in a new car manager for a little bit at a Nissan store in North Dallas, and I wasn't aware of there being any Nissan places off of the same, in that location, but it could be wrong. And plus, it's in Mac Infinity Services or whatever, and it's like got you making it out to like in Mac Inc. And then when the check gets cashed and clears and comes through, it goes to a Fifth Third banking account, which don't know if that's supposed to happen or not. And then after the Fifth Third banking account, you start kind of looking into some things there. And there's some religious organization that has that same PO box registered, but that could be the same building. I just don't understand. But it's like some really interesting things going on because when this happens, it's like everything is like super sus. So it's just been like hyper focusing things. But my phone, I haven't even had a phone and like it like completely blew up because I had it connected through phone link. I think that's how they bypass some of my two-factor stuff. I'm not really 100% sure. Um, or even how to kind of backtrack to figure that one out. But uh, just getting up and running so I can kind of get back to reality here because it's been a real pain in the ass. But got a couple bitches to make about the computer that I have. Um, I've had real good luck on it, but I just, when I bought this computer, I wanted just to buy it from one place, deal with one place, just make it, convenient instead of, you know, buying here, wait for it to come. I just wanted it put together. So that was a mistake that I made because I just didn't realize at the time, and I could have made it if I was building it myself. I didn't realize I was getting a computer that had built onto the motherboard, the Wi-Fi controller, Bluetooth controller. I thought those were going to be separate. That's just what my brain would have thought, or a way to disable it from the motherboard. Because when you start talking about things that are behind the UEFI and there's like viruses that are reoccurring like this and fake BIOS and bad RAM and all this other stuff, you just want to be able to try to get it as simple as possible, instead of just getting on, instead of just getting on, and then like it connecting online because when it starts calling it that Dropbox, it's like a trusted installer basically if you're on Windows, uh, or on some, I don't know what they call them on the K library or K manager or something like that, K worker. Well, it'll be like that, but it'll have like a little bit of a twist to it. So it's all kind of interesting on that. But I think I've kind of got it down now because once I got into Cali, I was able to go in there to that setting where you can uh, preset network parameters and like kind of harden it up. But man, it's just been real persistent. I've had to do some like weird like maneuvering, even on my laptop. Uh, I've been through three different laptops. Bought them from three different pawn shops, right? Which might be a problem, but um, I was already having an issue, so what did it matter? I just wanted to see if I could get it to persist and across all of my devices. Androids, Apples, PC with Windows and Linux, laptop with Windows, a laptop with Linux on it, different Fedora installations, Ubuntu installations, Debian installations, Arch installations. Um, it seems like it's pretty adaptive to all of it, but used to kind of you could hop over like something that's got Mac code wrote works on Windows, but carries over and still kind of functions on that. But the Linux, you can blow it up. It's like a semi truck full of folders if you can just find the right one. But it would like download top 200,000 programs or something just to try to run you out of time. But I think that the play here from these ransomware companies like this one in particular, um, and I don't know to be in a ransomware company, I feel like that's the case because just as some of the little droppings of information I've kind of picked up through it. But if they can't make money off you, they're going to resell you, and then they're going to get a hold of you at a call center or something like that. But usually, all this stuff starts pretty local. Um, for the normal individual, and that's what I was considering myself. But just being online a little bit, I am, and streaming. I think that kind of made me a little bit more vulnerable. But um, advice is just like I think what happened when I had Spectrum, because I changed internet too. Spectrum won't let you change your IP address, like unless if you're in their app or whatever. And I mean, you can't change the IP at all. It's just fixated. And that's kind of one of those things, like whether they're using you as like a Wi-Fi hotspot or a bridge or something. And then I switched over to ATT because I like the idea of being able to just log into an HTTP server and change it that way, or at least change some parameters there. Well, it's all fine and great until you start talking about just being web hooked 6 ways from Sunday. Every time I would change a password, it'd go right back. So I had to get creative and like trying just to do this like a normal person would have to deal with it. Because of course I could have just went and bought shit and just like got rid of everything, but I don't know. I was kind of interested in learning this, and I guess this is the best way to do it, just to get smacked over the head. But so far, all it's costed me is time, which is pretty valuable. Um, but as far as like financially, uh, they got my Steam account, which I've got 70 of them. It doesn't matter. I've got skins across all of my accounts. I've done that a long time ago. I've been playing since '02, but I really don't have a inventory of skins. I got rid of them a long time ago. I just was kind of I saw that it was kind of a pro. I just didn't. Never been a fan of the skins and stuff. And then I got to take care of my 74-year-old mother that's losing her mind. So that's really tough too. But yeah, she was affected, and from what I can see a little bit, the phones were forwarded. We've had some cloning going on. Uh, Definitely somebody using that as a vector, but even phone calls getting rerouted. But I did find an Experian account. My dad passed away a year ago. I found an Experian account that had been created recently that actually had my mom's social matched to my dad's name. So there was some interesting stuff there. I don't know. We'll have to run that down, but I've pretty much got everything frozen. We've changed bank accounts 3 or 4 times, but as far as like net, my Bluetooth is trying to disconnect here. So as far as like a net loss or anything, it's just been basically my Steam account and some other accounts that I wish I could probably get back, but hopefully, whatever. Just electronic devices ain't no big deal. But what a waste for to do this on me of time and money and resources. Complete waste. Let me make sure I'm still on here. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm still alive. So yeah, I've been noticing even within my Bluetooth, it's spoof tooth. Yeah, I probably just take that shit off. I thought I deactivated all this stuff in the BIOS, but since that's not even my damn BIOS, it changes my frequency, my hertz, my VMD stuff. It just automatically does it. No matter what I do, it changes it back. And once you start kind of breaking some of that, you can see the box where, um, like, there was definitely another mouse, another session running behind it, like a virtual show that you're kind of stuck in that somebody else is playing the puppeteer of. But back to my point. So I think what I reformat a lot, right? So I see what this looks like. So Xbox was infected because it had separate profiles identified, Xbox Envy, stuff like that. And then phones, and then you walk it back into the VR issue. Probably wasn't updated all the way. We didn't really use it much, but that was a little bit of a problem. So it's like every one of my devices was infected with something. Um, and walking it back out's pretty damn hard. Uh, there's just so many things to consider, and even like once you get it all done, it's never done. There's just that's the one thing I can guarantee you. There's no such thing as like being bulletproof on any of this stuff, unless if you act like a bot like I do, boot from a USB and just don't register for anything and just don't really, use the computer for the same experience that 90% of people probably do or whatever. But when you start talking about like Microsoft Office has sales of X amount of dollars per year in the billions, and then you have somebody get creative within this UEFI like logo fail thing to where you're booting into a controlled vert session because it takes an hour and a half to install Windows up front or maybe even longer, because what it's doing is making you connect to the internet. It's not giving you the OOB option to like do it offline. And chances are you probably got your install from Windows. So if you were already infected from the jump, your install's gonna be bad. Or if you had a USB that you've used before that was infected, it's gonna be bad. So that was the first set of circumstances I dealt with. That was an issue. Um, and I probably made it worse on myself carrying those things, um, device to device to device. I just thought I was smarter than the USB. But no, this thing is pretty persistent. And it like, yeah, I just wish I could get into the show I have a video and then it like paused halfway through. So I've been having some trouble recording it and I can't get it to boot on the laptop. So I'll have to think about that again to get that back up and running. But I've got it persistent on a USB, so it doesn't really matter too much. Um, Auto remove. And then let's see what else. Oh, so you boot in to a Windows, right? You're a 60, 70-year-old lady or whatever, just bought it, computer a year ago and had a virus and you had to reformat. And then that's what they want you to do, right? So then you go to reformat. And then the first like couple of things once you connect to the internet, it's before you get to the actual Windows like loading screen, it's Microsoft Office sign up, Microsoft Outlook sign up, all the Office um, Office, stuff. And then you put in your credit card and yada yada yada. Create your online Microsoft account, which I actually played with this once I started kind of figuring out the progression of it. You put in and you make a new email. You go back to log in later, that email is invalid. Well, I actually did it real time. I made the email on the computer, went over to my other one and tried to log into it, and it didn't exist. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So it's like basically just letting you make an account that it's not even really making an account. And then the next step to that is if you put in your information, obviously you know what happens. You're just giving them the keys to whatever, however, you know. And that's the first layer of it. And then if you don't, you decline it. You get about 2 to 3 hours maybe online before it's a rinse and repeat boot loop, and then you reformat, and then here you go, same shit again, same thing. So then that's when I was like, I'm usually able to get around it because what I'll do, the trusted installer's tainted. So I'll go in up front and make two profiles because the way the malware works or whatever um, is it's elevating privileges and not letting you have any. So I would go in there and edit some of like those files and put like them as a Windows media player file or something crazy, just to like make sure it's not going to exec it and do it a different way. But you have a very limited amount of time to try to run that thing down. Um, and then like I tried to install the malware bytes, right? Well, the Microsoft Edge is no good. You get in the Microsoft Edge, and it's not that it's Microsoft Edge is not good. It's just everything in the system is bad. Everywhere you go, the App Store is only got like 4.3. Everything's got a 4.3 rating. It's amazing. With only like YouTube only had like 1,400 downloads. I was like, oh, that's odd. But it's just putting you like in this shell to where it's like simulating this experience. The way that I could tell like up front is like it just looks really granulated. And I've got like a 4070 or 40 whatever graphics card. So I'm used to having a pretty decent visual experience. And when things look a little granulated or whatever, I start kind of, questioning. But yeah, so when you open up Firefox or Edge or whatever, the parameters are already set. It's like Fire Dragon or something to where It's got custom JSON script running, and it's calling out to download a thing called Dark Reader. Dark Reader is really interesting. It doesn't do it on Kali because what I did was, uh, let me flip back over real quick. Uh, well, I guess I could show you right here. So what I did was, is instead of doing their web browser, I went over here to properties and I just added a new hyperlink called Goog, and then I went HTTPS. So that way I'm not clicking on their, link, create, and then I just go over here, save, and then it's going to give me a drop down, and then I'm just pulling up Google that way and going straight over to a private window. So that was kind of my first initial little workaround that I think that helps a little bit, but you're just so hooked into it. And, you know, I'm kind of having a hard time even knowing where I'm at half the time in the world because I'll even show you my IP stuff because none of it matches what I should be having. It says that I'm a part of the isolated internet company. Whatever. I don't even know what that, maybe that's supposed to be that way. I mean, I wouldn't think so, but close some screens here. But yeah, I'm just not I mean, I thought I had a pretty good handle on what's supposed to happen in a on a computer, but man, was I wrong. Shit's got a lot of components to it. And then with the meltdown thing, like I had that a couple of months before some of those, like, because I know E-leads got hit. I was working for a car dealership, so I was like really worked for car dealers for 18 years. So it's just I was pretty familiar with, like, these companies and stuff, and it's like their E-leads is huge. It's a customer system, like, database. Uh, every car dealer, I mean, like, not every one of them. It's that or it's Dealer Track. There's only really two, and those are the biggest ones. I mean, there's some other smaller ones, but what happens with this is when you go in or get online to, like, apply for a loan or a car, chances are 90% of the time, whether if it's, I don't care what dealership it is, if it's a franchise, blue sky store, like a Ford or a Nissan or something like that's franchise like that, large, it's going to have, decent enough security on it. But like when you're going to go put in your information in online, it's going to go to a dealer track secured application, like portal, which then goes into the finance department at said dealership, or it's rerouted and then like sent to different banks or something within that process, which is a terrible idea. Don't ever do that, because nobody knows how to submit their own car deal. And if you did, you wouldn't need a car. You wouldn't need the car dealership, right? Manufacturers are really, really good at making vehicles. They're terrible at selling them, and vice versa. Like, I mean, we had to sell cars, get people approved, but people want to sit there and, like, kind of like, oh, they want to be lazy, is what it is. And especially with, like, this newer generation with technology, they just want to hit a button and let it go. Well, sometimes somebody might have put in that they paid rent or had a mortgage for 1800 or something. Well, no, they don't. They live with their mom and their dad, and they pay a little bit of rent, or living with family. So you got to go back and, like, review all that stuff, and it doesn't happen a lot. So that's where all the credit information goes, and then it's logged, not your credit information to e-leads, but your customer profile. So then you can get followed up with first name, last name, address, telephone number, all of it. That kind of stuff doesn't show your social. It's not supposed to. It's blocked out. That's the safety part of it. So a company like that gets exposed, and they're down for a little over a month, from New York to Texas to California to wherever. And then you start talking about other infrastructure stuff that went down. So yeah, there's a chance that that stuff is still lingering around, like on USBs or whatever. Just got, was infected, or that's just the first wave of it. So when I first started getting hit, I went to go reformat, and man, oh shit, the first 2 weeks was an exercise of just, it was a real beat up session for me because it was like, man, I was just never had this kind of trouble. I don't understand. And then I don't really know exactly what I did, but I even went to other places to install. And this is on my desktop PC. My other laptop I keep separate from everything's worked the whole complete time. Off. I don't ever touch that laptop to the network. Um, it's worked the whole time, but of course I'm not bringing it in and connecting it to this garbage. So uh, my other laptops, my other two, just completely obliterated. Well, one of them, the other one's still working, but it's heavily infected, and I'll have to just figure that out. But okay, where was that? So these companies get infected. Let's just say it's been enough time to where this stuff could be making it back around on the dark web or whatever, getting sold by data sealers. And then we've had AT&T for 25 something years, and they had an issue. And then the VPNs that we're all using, like Fortinet, which is used at a lot of like retail stores up front, it's has had issues. I don't know if it still does, but so you have all these like vulnerabilities, and I think people are kind of like, at least it's me because somebody's activated it, but my computer definitely was on like some sort of like zombie mode, right? And whatever, whether it was just mine and shit on me or not, I don't really know. But I started seeing issues when I was trying to stream play Counter Strike and do like heavy load stuff. It started just giving me weird like inconsistencies on it, and then it got to the point to where my Nvidia was compromised through the broadcaster. I don't know that for a fact, but I feel like either they were just creative enough to get me that way, or engineer some sort of pop up. But I did see a program called Green with Envy, which is an exploit for NVIDIA graphics cards. But what happens? So when I went to go reformat, I got past all that stuff, and then the second layer of it, as I went over there, and I start to see the driver stuff pop up. I'm like, yeah, I need to install NVIDIA. I need to reinstall drivers. So I clicked on it, and as soon as I clicked on it, I was like, shit. That didn't even really look the way it was supposed to. It was like translucent green, like you could see through. I was like, damn it. So then that started a whole another set of circumstances. But it's like I've run the marathon with 2025's hit list of viruses and malware, and it's a real pain in the ass. Google Phone, Google Voice Manager, taking calls, denying calls, intercepting calls, total operator type situation there on that. Whether it's the same companies, I have no idea. Um, just man, it's very elaborate, very very well planned. Good job to whoever came up with all this shit. Bad job to waste all that time and effort on me, but probably not wasting any time. It's probably more of just like some sort of AI. But somebody has to manage it at some point. So at some extent, like I think on that Garuda drive, which I believe is that's the distribution that they're using currently is Garuda, uh, or Black Arch or whatever, because it seems like that installation was the one I could get the furthest with everything, and it kind of started giving me a scope of these Dockers and session managers, and I can kind of start thinking, okay, well, when you have this session with this wallpaper, it had some weird things going on, but when you switch the theme of the wallpaper, it really wasn't a problem no more, right? So like all these little clicking of things weren't like popping stuff up. So I don't know how that works when you're on somebody unless you have them booting into that. But I don't know. I had like 1,000 ports opened up on my network, and I was looking at some Wireshark data, which I'm not sure if I can even show on stream, but uh, it's all just real confusing because like there's a lot of Skype protocols opened up. What the fuck Skype protocol? Like I haven't ever used Skype. And then I looked at my phone and I had a lot of radio stations opened up. And I'm like, what the fuck is this about? So like there's just a lot of like weird stuff going on with all that. And it seems like a lot of New York uh connections and whatnot was going on there. But Let's see if I can get back over to that. So yeah, that's kind of the long and short of that up front. And then, this doesn't look like top 10 stuff. Ansible to John, Animate, Araya, ARP, Fingerprint. That sounds like fun. Let's do finger. It probably won't work because there's nobody logged on. Yeah, see, I don't know if I can still pull that keyring thing. Uh, how do you get the to look this up because I don't know. And then using Chat GPT to do all this when you're webhooked and getting bad commands was real interesting. All right, so why is this against your policy? I'm trying to find out who the fuck's been messing with my computer, man. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Here, I'll trip into it here and again. I'll just have to click around a little bit because I don't really know where I want to go to find anything. But yeah, all those I-686 when I don't know what that is. Something Tiger just popped up, I noticed. See, I deleted the temp file on that. Yeah, see, I deleted it because that's where a lot of it was. And there's like PowerShell, Empire, or whatever. Had some interesting stuff going on. And I think I've already deleted that too, so. Let's do this one right here. What is this desktop emulator 10K1? you know what? That might be the screen share. I don't know. All right, file manager. Let's just do this and see, because I don't know what I've deleted. So what I did was I encrypted my whole SSD, and then I just booted into their virtual session, I guess, or whatever, and then just started like deleting shit and kind of like hanging out. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense. Everything's kind of just whack. Maybe when I go to like re-download or something, I can't get it cleanly. Even writing straight to DD doesn't even work. So I'm kind of at a loss on that. But that's the next thing, just being able to like get on a computer, boot it, and like keep it moving. I just don't know. It's kind of strange. All right. So what was I about to do? I don't know. There's something I want to look up. Yeah. So just like going through all these, and this is, I just technically live booted with no persistence. So, and this is what's here still, like somewhere around the, I guess I'm behind a partition or something, or maybe I broke it enough to like where this is kind of here, but they're not actually installed anymore. But seeing a lot of John, seeing a lot of Blake, something. Uh, there was a Alan McCrae on the Arch thing. If Foster, I don't know. I just like, I see a lot of different like names. There's a Quentin something, and then this I686 reminds me of a guy that I was on YouTube with. Fuck you. Um, 686 Entertainment, out of Mississippi, I believe. He's a scammer. That's, I think, initially what happened. That's who started following me, started botting me, and that's the initial, I think, issue there. Also, one of my neighbors was being real cool. And then like Mr. Mogs or whatever their name is, Xbox. I mean, I've got them all wrote down with like IPs and MAC IDs if it's even accurate, but just some names there that are of note. N.P to John, well, John the Ripper. I don't remember the names being quite like that on the app. There's a PM3 flash, full image, flash all, Plymouth set, P locate build. Um, Pipework pulls. Oh yeah, here's dot ice authority. Oh yeah, and the sudo is successful. Like I could never get this thing to like just stop kicking me out. And yeah, so that's that. Let's see what this Java has to say. I might have just updated this whole thing on this file to where I can't pull anything. Okay, here's some still left over. Capstone. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that's I've kind of gotten out of here. Hot patch. OpenVPN protocols. Definitely more than just what I thought would come on the default. Oh, let's go ahead and blast this too. I like this one. Include. Where's it at? All right, so prototypes, whatever. I'm not really sure what this is for. Allocate size bytes of memory. Reallocate the previous allocated block in PTR. Sizing the new block large enough for the NMEMB elements of size bytes each. Maybe. I don't know. Real array attribute whatever. And we'll just kind of go through a few here and see what the hell. All right, that one's not a directory. Dirt. All right, there's another one. Let's see what this says. Asynchronous input output file offset. And this is threading. Yeah, my headset keeps dropping in and out for whatever reason. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's just a lot of shit, dude. Kernel stuff. Here, this is macros. GCC, okay, so compiler, if we had as little as possible inside inline assembly, however, we want to be able to know what we'll get out before giving up inline assembly. Thus, these tested macros. Kernel, blah, 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 blah. Pop count. So I guess that's, I don't know. Just getting you up front here. I'll have to have somebody with a better, more of a understanding of what all this means, because I really don't. I just know that there's no really reason I should have to hide anything there. And it says right here, it's like, in all cases, we get better schedules out of the compiler if we have. Well, the compiler's blocking stuff up front. I've already seen that in some of the stuff going on. Because if it wasn't the case and I didn't really need it for like functionality, like I could still boot back and this stuff won't be here. So, and I'm not even on a, none of these are mine files, I don't think. And then there's like registries all shittered. Here, let's see what this says. Yeah, couldn't be bothered. It's too much. Anyways. Ooh, I like that one. Aliases. Geneva free software char size structured alias database. Get the next entry alias database and result underscore buff. External void set alias enc43. Set it to so yo mama. That doesn't matter. Just having a little fun with it at this point. Atomic pain in my ass. Nick 2. Replay. All right, let's see here. Proxy request, header result requests. Hello. One of the keyring guys that got yanked off. I mean, it doesn't look like he's even been active for 2 years, and then they come out with a new Garuda distribution. TNE is the name of the Discord or whatever that they let me get into, and then there's an IRC channel too for it, and then there's something called Matrix or whatever, another like messaging protocol maybe. But yeah, I've seen stuff from X and Hive and shit like that in my system, which was interesting, but that could have been from a long time ago. PAM configs. I've already deleted it, I guess. No, here it is right here. All right, what about NT Active Directory authentication? What in the just change the priority to everything. I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna break this thing. I don't know, whatever. Create home directory on login. Let's get rid of these Pam. Fucking Pam. See, not really much going on in here that they've touched before I was able to end it. Oh, I didn't want to do that. All right. So all right, so here's what's been edited down here. Global variation. I don't even know. At marks. Hmm. Run hooks. Cookie, new jar. So there's the. Just put on the original. And this just says total requests mark, total errors reported on remote host, vulnerabilities. Scan terminated. Oh, I'm just trying to break it. Don't worry about it. I just want to make it as hard as possible for them to get me when I'm like trying to get this last little update in here a little bit so I get Windows back and play fucking Counter Strike. Fucking tweaking on the Counter Strike, man. Share a Tati. Huh? Let's see what this shit says. Get Digium firmware. I don't know. The script is a trivial wrapper around the make file originated from drivers at Daddy Firmware and Daddy Linux. .t Linux. .t. Yeah. Gross. Uh, all right. Well, that's all I got for right now. I just wanted to put something on here, but I wish I could get this to boot to where I could show like the set list behind, like on Garuda, especially if you go look at the graphical installation of it. When it's booting up, it says install Garuda. It's like set params, and then oh, duh. All right, so I don't know if this will. Here's all my set parameters that I didn't set up. Bash rematch. Oh, what the fuck is this? Completion Darwin. Darwin, isn't that the dude from Face It? Isn't that the fucking dev from Face It? The fucking Darwin. That could be anybody, anything though, you know. I'm just talking shit. But wouldn't that be hilarious if they just, you know, we're in here fucking hacking everybody? Because you know, it took me like 6 hours to even like queue a match, and I was like talking shit about it, you know. But I mean, I'm paid for a service, and it's just like I couldn't ever get it to work right. But that's probably because I was already infected with some issues. Pre CMD hook. Unset pre CMD underscore functions. Unset. This is where I'll probably fuck up. Watch. Unset widgets. I don't know. Was it pagers? One of them. Unset module path. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is. Foot path. Unset ZSH. Bind. Our prompt here is this too. Copy this. What was it? Oh shit. Hold on. Unset bond. I'm recording. I think it was blind. Fuck, man. Where'd we go? Damn. Whatever. That's interesting. Oh, my lord. I don't even know. Oh, wait. Alright. So, this is what I kept seeing here is like forward paths or something. Open to share functions, Linux, completion, AIX, Darwin, completion, Unix, Solaris, CYG, Win, Red Hat, Mime, ZLE. Yeah. Let's not fuck with that forward path. Now I guess the next key will be making sure this sticks. Here's the preset exec hook. Let's see if I can get it to pull up. No, that's not it. Where was it? Bin. What is happening? Is it? Oh my god, there's just so much going on in here. Alright, so there's another rolling C code. Dead shot or something like that. D3ADSHOZ or something like that. It was one of those key holders, nut holders. Yeah, so here's a little bit of it right here. Of course, I haven't had any time. I don't know how to do the decryption stuff. I'm sure I could figure it out. Just need a little more time on it. D money sign 0H, but it's like dead shot or some shit like that. Some gay shit. Some gay shit. And I say that, and not like I've seen, not like two guys blowing each other, but just like, because I was born I grew up in the 90s. I don't mean any harm by it, you sensitive fucks. They keep on running, running. Text file's busy. Yeah, because I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Alright. What was that? Uncle Ben? Uncle Ben's rice? Fucking make shrooms or some shit like that. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, get deleted, bitch. No, it's just there's been so much of this going on, and it's beyond my scope of understanding. But they've definitely tried pretty hard to fuck with me on it. Here's another one. Let's scroll through here and see if we can find anything where they got sloppy. Here we go. Infection done. Child died unexpectedly while processing. That's terrible. Child process. Anyways, ignore case. A lot of reg edit stuff going on in there. I guess I could go to the repo link and that is going to show me what their accounts that they're calling out to. I saw that earlier too. It's just been hard to document anything. I can't read my damn own handwriting. I'm definitely just gonna. What's another one? It seems like they've used PK exact. I know I haven't. Disable internal agent command. And we're just gonna do a little enable action there. Run it again. See what happens. I don't know what will happen. Maybe I'll go into the ether, the underworld. No, I don't know. I feel like I'm somewhere in space right now with all this craziness. But I did a really good job keeping it all together, Kismet, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Coconut, Mouse Jack, Killer Bee, Uber One, Bluetooth. See, all these were run. SSH agent, then SSH agent. Let's take a look. See, this is a lot of bullshit. It's just Deadshot again. Private file key open. Just all automated. AWAVI at Wate or whatever. To chat to go back to. No, this is the guy from like Discord and all that other shit. 70,000 accounts a month stolen from Steam. I wonder if the plot gets interesting. Maybe face it. Fucking got a stick in the game. That would be so. I would love that more than anything. And they've got kernel access to anti-cheat, and they're sitting there, just fucking robbing you the whole time too. And they don't ever respond to you. They don't ever answer nothing, and you're paying them, and they're probably just. I'm just talking shit. I don't mean it. But it would be crazy. What a crazy twist that would be. My dumb ass trips into this. No, they had upgraded their platform. I mean, anything can happen at that point. We got a lot of people probably helping and working on it, and then with all this other craziness going on, they're just unfortunate that I'm not even sure if they even had anything. But I keep seeing a couple of names. Also saw something from Joystick TV Dev, um, Ruby on Rails stuff. Text file's busy on this too, so I guess I won't save it. I guess I'm going to delete it. Bad math expression. Yeah, no shit. Never been good at it. What is happening? All right, anyways. So that's it for me right now. I'm kind of bored now. But I'm gonna go back and try to at least get my Windows downloaded because I'm kind of done with it a little. But I just keep digging. I'm just gonna keep finding more and more things to like, go crazy about a little. Now keep in mind, I just DD'd this image 2 hours ago, and this is what was running. Or this is all that's in the background because I can't even get into. And it's almost like my Bluetooth. It keeps cutting in and out. It was doing the same thing yesterday. I was trying to record some stuff off of that laptop, uh, which I might flip over and try to do that here in a second. But it's crazy. Actually, as a matter of fact, I might have. Didn't I make a flash drive with that video on it? Probably not. Okay, I'm not gonna look for it. Like I said, I'm kind of over it at this point for the day. I'm gonna go try to download Windows now that I'll be on this broken. But I still have to figure out why I can't get. I can't get back into like my BIOS to flash it to update it because as soon as I even try to unzip, do anything, it's already got like some sort of like thing called Casper or whatever, and then it's edited and it starts this whole from the jump. And I don't know if it is fixable, to be quite honest. It might be so deep. Deep. Anyways. Okay. Well, if I ever get my account back, here's what it looks like. This was my original account. Yeah, power of friendship's undefeated. Want to come to my birthday party? No, I'm doing it wrong. Hey, if the tree falls in the woods, nobody hears it. Are you still gay? Yep. Hell yeah, dude. I had a lot of fun streaming playing Counter Strike, and somebody's ripped it away from me. But anyways, we'll work on trying to get that back at some point.